Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and welcome to episode 123 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
My name is Barbara. How's it going, partner?
Going pretty good. How about yourself? You guys busy down there?
Yeah, super busy. It's the end of the month, and all of us dental technicians in the world knows what that means.
Push.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's also Friday, so almost done. Wrapping it up. Get out of here and chill out for a little bit. And I'm going to lay out in the sun because I live in Florida. Yay.
Aren't you guys having hurricanes right now? Seems like
No, that's what the whole world thinks, but they also think everybody in Florida has COVID. So as soon as those storms come up, and now it's moving farther east, so it's probably not even gonna, by the time it gets here, it'll probably be off the coast. So
are Floridians disappointed when it's supposed to hit and then it doesn't?
No, it's just like the toilet paper, everybody goes out and buys water and toilet paper and food, and they get ready for it, and then it never comes. But it's best to be prepared. So
yeah. Do you stock up on wine?
No, I don't stock up on anything. I've lived here my whole life. I know how it goes.
Barb don't care about no pandemics or national...
No, we were discussing hurricanes now. Don't put the reputation out there that I don't care about pandemics. I'm just tired of it. That's all.
We all are. I'm ready for it to be over. I'm ready to start traveling again.
Yeah, and you promised you weren't going to talk about it anymore. So
yeah. You're right. Scratch that. Well, things are busy here.
Good.
Yeah, most of our accounts are still well above pre-pandemic levels. I mean, we're just kind of rolling along and actually bringing 2 employees back.
Fantastic.
Yeah, happy about that. Things are growing.
Awesome. So
this week brings us the 2 gentlemen that started Digital Dental Craftsmen. Have you ever heard of them?
Now I have, yes. We interviewed them.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You might have seen this group online, checked out one of their many, many educational videos, or even seen the logo at last year's Lab Day Chicago. I had a chance to talk with Jeffry Tobon, CDT, and Sander Polanco, DTG, who got together about 2 years ago and put together a group of talented educators to bring together dental technology and the digital workflow. Jeffry and Sander talk about their labs, how and why they created Digital Dental Craftsmen, how they find their instructors, and how anyone can learn from them for free, and what exciting things they're working on to bring DDC to even more technicians around the globe.
Sweet.
They have some amazing, amazing things in the works. So join us for a chat with Jeffry and Sander.
Whitmix is super excited to announce the new Pro 4K large format 3D printer from Asiga. The open material printer for 385 nm and 405 nm resins features renowned Asiga reliability and super fast print mode for large batch printing of virtually all print resins.
It's ideal for printing any kind of model, dentures, splints, surgical guides, impression trays, and more. As with other Asiga printers, the Pro 4K features the SPS, Smart Positioning System technology, which ensures that the build platform is in the correct position when forming each layer, providing repeatable accuracy and production continuity.
The Asiga Pro 4K DL printer is priced at under $25,000. Has a large build plate and is available in both versions.
For more information about the Asiga Pro 4K, visit whitmix.com. We appreciate your support of the podcast, Whitmix. Voices from the Bench. The interview. I'd like to welcome to the podcast today 2 gentlemen who are part of a group that founded the Digital Dental Craftsmen. Now, I know you guys have a huge presence online, and I'd love to learn more about how you guys got into this. So let's introduce you. So first we have Jeffry Tobon. How are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you.
Awesome. I see here online you're a registered graduate, a certified dental technician.
Yes.
Awesome. And then we have Sander Polanco.
Yes, correct.
Nice. I got it. master dental technician and part of the Dental Technicians Guild.
Yes, that too, yes.
Awesome. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. I'm so happy to talk to you guys because I'm online a lot and you guys have a huge online presence of what you're doing. So we're going to get into the whole digital dental craftsman, but I'd like to learn a little bit about how you guys got into the industry. So let's start off with you, Jeffrey. What got you into dental laboratory technology?
Yeah, so my dad was a dental technician.
There it
Dad
is.
was a dentureman. I grew up watching him doing dentures at home. We came from Colombia, and he used to have his own business back in Colombia, and then make the decision for a better life for your kids. So then they decided, let's move to the United States. So we came here. I got to see very little of it because I was, when I was little, you don't pay attention to what your father's doing when he's working.
Sure.
But then time came for, what are we going to do for a living? Like, decide like, what are you going to do for college and this and that. My mom, I remember her saying, we only have so much money and we want you to do whatever you want to do, but maybe you could start off with something that your father does and then, try to make money so you could pay for, whatever else, which at that time I wanted to get into like architecture.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Especially because I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, they get to that point where they don't know what to do and their parents don't really advise. And I feel like that was a good advice that they gave me, and then it worked out even better because I ended up loving it. I went into New York City College of Technology and I graduated from there with a degree in restorative dentistry. That's basically how I got involved. It was just one of those things. My parents really led me in this direction, and I ended up falling in love with the business.
So your father owned the lab, and what was it, a removable lab?
Yeah, it was a denture lab in Colombia.
In
And
Colombia. Okay. And then when he came over here, did he open up another lab?
No, it's not easy. He couldn't do that, especially English was a barrier, things like that. So he ended up working as a dentureman for another lab.
Oh, okay.
So he's still working for someone else right now. Hopefully not too long. I can get him out of working for someone else.
So he's still at the bench. Nice.
Yeah, he's still at the bench.
So what did you do when you were introduced? Did you get into removables or were you more into the fix?
No, I didn't want to. He was like, no, don't do it. He goes, get into ceramics. So he pushed me. No. So I actually did more ceramics, crown and bridge, stuff like that. I mean, I love everything. I mean, even the dentures.
Sure.
I know how to do them too, partials. But, I just wanted to get into the artistic end of things, which I felt was ceramics, like that's something to create from scratch. So that's kind of how I got involved.
And do you own your own lab now?
Yeah, I have my own lab, Design Lab Dental, and we are a fully digital lab. We do everything digital.
Do you take in regular impressions or not at all?
Yeah, not as much anymore, but yeah, I mean, you still kind of have to. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. You hear about some of those labs that don't take any, and I wonder how they stay in business, but you hear about them.
Yeah, you gotta have to, but you push them to try to go digital, and in the beginning, there's always those that are kind of hard headed, but yeah, I mean, overall, I've been keeping a full digital workflow from beginning to end. So
nice.
It makes it easier.
And are you doing removables or are you fixed only?
No, fixed only. Yeah. Sander is more of the removable guy.
What a nice segue. Sanders. How did you get into this industry?
Hi. Yes. So my parents both are dentists in Ecuador.
Oh.
I'm originally from Ecuador, from Guayaquil. I came here when I was 17 years old, around 25 years ago. And my mother was working here in a lab. I just graduated high school in Ecuador, and I came here and I wanted to go into college to study computer science.
Oh.
Because also, financial limitations. My mother told me, you have to wait a year if you want to go to CUNY. You can get a financial aid there, and and they have a lot of programs on what you want to pursue. So, but in the meantime, you can do something here in the lab where I'm working. They are willing to train you, and so that's how I got into the field. I was trained there for 2 weeks in the removal department, doing custom trays and occlusal rims, and after 2 weeks, I pick it up fast, and then after 2 weeks, they offer me a job, and I worked with them like 3 years. So I learned, a lot working with them, different areas, different steps of removal dentures.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to go to college anyway for computer science. I have a bachelor in computer science, and I was doing this after work. So I was working full time in the lab and going full time to City Tech also, New York
Wow.
City Tech College. And for 6 years, at the beginning, I took English as a second language for 2 years, and then I was able to do my program. When I finished college, so I had already 5 years of experience working in the dental lab. I wanted to go to take the program, but then I got married, so I just decided to, just open a lab on my own. And being that I already had experience doing just, full dentures and partials, and then that's how I started with my own business when I was 23.
Wow.
And since then, I've been working on my own. I eventually learned to do crown bridge, fix, implants, CAD cam, pretty much self-taught. Recently, I'm working on getting my CDT. I already passed my 2 exams,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I have to do my practical next month in August. And currently I'm teaching. Actually now they offer me to teach removables, full dentures at City Tech. So I'm a adjunct instructor for them for CUNY. And yeah, pretty much that's how I got into the field, and a little bit about my story.
Yeah, so you're at City Tech teaching with Renata.
Yeah, Renata and
Yeah, we love Renata.
yeah, Oscar Galvis also. Oscar actually is right now is the director of the department for removals, the coordinator. Sorry, the coordinator. So yeah, Oscar Galvis is there, and Justin Marks was there
Mm-hmm.
until last semester. He was also part of the removable department.
So that's where you two probably met, right?
No, no,
No,
no. We
Oh,
met.
actually, we met 2 years ago in LMT.
no kidding.
Yeah. So we are in different, obviously, promotions. I'm 10 years older than Jeffrey. So we met actually, yeah, 2 years ago in LMT. We were introduced by a common friend, and then because he's in Long Island, like an hour from where I am is in Staten Island, New York. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how we met, and we start getting to know each other.
Where did the digital dental craftsman kind of idea start to flourish? What brought it on?
There was some talk about creating some sort of group, where we would bring technicians and together. But we had a meeting back at LMT that year discussing that, and it didn't lead anywhere. And we were like, whatever. It kind of died out.
Sure.
And then Sander had an event that was happening locally here in Long Island. So he decided one day to stop by and look at the lab to see if maybe he could use the space that I already had, in which I was already doing trainings and courses. I had like computer
Appreciate
set up and this and that for 3-shift courses.
Okay, yeah.
Sander had wanted to, for a while, to create courses as well and put up events and this and that. So he wanted to see the space to see if maybe he would rent it out. So then he came and basically was like, this is a great space, this and that. Why don't we? Can I put something up here? But can you expand it? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it can happen, but I have to, there's gonna be some money investment involved. So he was like, I'll do it. Like, let's do it. I'll help you. So I was like, oh, you sure? I'm like, yeah, okay. So that's how kind of really things started kicking off. And then once we decided to create and enlarge this learning center here, we decided, you know what? Why don't we name the learning center something? It went from there to deciding to let's come up with a group that's more inclusive of not just technicians only, and we also include dentists. We have plenty of dentist friends.
Mm-hmm.
So we then, I don't know how, honestly, it's just one of those things, one led to the next. And then we decided, instead of naming the learning center, behind some name that we both came up with, we decided to name it behind a learning group. And then that's how the idea of Digital Craftsman came to be. And we ended up deciding afterwards, you know what, why don't we invite people? Why don't we create a following? Why don't we make it, feel a little bit like DTG, but focus it on education, like only instructors, only educators. Obviously, it's a huge difference between DTG and this, because DTG, not everybody necessarily teaches. they're just talented people.
Yeah.
We wanted to focus it on education, talent.
And all the softwares. Like I for years I was seeing like this division between technicians and the designers, technicians, that they were separated by Exocad or Tree Shape or any other software. So I always talk with a lot of friends in the field. I know a lot of people like from ceramics, removals, and everything. My lab is a full service, so I have a lot of friends in different areas of the dental technology. So I always talk with. I have a lot of friends that they are great designers in Exocad. Others are great designers in BlueScout Bio. Other ones are or clinicians that they use implant planning software very well, and also designers in TreeShape. So I always mention to them, what it would be good to have a group where all the technologies, the software are together, and for the pretty much we are using right now. You cannot just use one software. You gotta pretty much know a couple of, or even would be the best to know them all, so you can really integrate it and manage treatment plans that nowadays, especially for full mouth rehabilitation, is required. So that's how also we include this part in digital dental craftsman, to bring all these technologies and softwares and people together, so we can share and learn from each other.
Well, for sure, every software has their strength and every software has their weakness. And you're right. I mean, to really utilize them all, you got to understand them all.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you put together this basically a room, and your original thought was to put programs on just in this room, which would pretty limited on who could get to it, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Like basically, like, you have a room, we started putting up events where it was just me and Sander, and then we wanted to bring in other people because at the end of the day, we don't know everything,
Yeah.
and we wanted to be able to have something where we taught everything. So then we were like, we can bring in other instructors, and then it went from bringing in other instructors to even more and more, and then it developed into a whole community now. I think we're about over 50 or 60 instructors.
Wow.
And then basically everybody is, yeah, now we have about 6,000 following people following us on our study group. And it was very, should I say, is like basically the concept went from, it shouldn't just be us, we don't know everything, and let's bring others to utilize our space in order for them to teach. And then it went from there to actually what we're developing now, which is more online education. So, because we have people from all over the world, and we had started bringing the people to come all the way to New York to teach their courses here, and we sponsored them and this and that. But then, just logistically, it's very difficult. So, made it where we were like, what, let's create different locations. Like, let's set up different locations. So we set up one in Canada. We were in the middle of, before we got hit with this virus, we were setting up some in Vegas and Spain.
Wow.
Different parts in Mexico.
Absolutely.
Like I had previously said to you, before we went live, this thing that happened with the virus has been like a catalyst for innovation, and we definitely have been innovating in ways I don't think too many people like have been doing. And we've been just coming up with ideas of ways to connect people, teach, and bring education worldwide. As time evolves, like the company and the group and everything has evolved, and the ideas just keep coming. So it's a very dynamic thing. And now, we're definitely looking worldwide. We're not just looking at New York or even the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the need for education is just as predominant in every other country.
Yeah.
Have you guys started anything in Ecuador yet?
Yes, actually.
Yeah?
Yes. Actually, we have one of our instructors is from Ecuador. Is a doctor, prosthodontist, and also technician, and she has her own training center in Cuenca in Ecuador. So that was in the plans to make it also a DDC center, but now she has a lot of programs and in Spanish. So we are in the process of right now developing, almost done with two platforms that we are gonna launch soon, and a lot of these programs are gonna be placed in this platform in different languages and different from different countries. So she's part of this project. So, and the same thing with Colombia and Mexico, Spain, pretty much all the instructors that right now are part of DDC, they are just waiting to this to get done, and then launch all these programs.
So how do you guys choose your instructors? I'm looking at the list online, and I mean, they're from all over the place with all sorts of different abilities and expertise. How do you choose an instructor?
Instructors have become a invite only thing. Basically, we approach the person and invite them. And the way I guess we look at it is, there's a lot of factors, I think. Obviously, the person has to have some sort of following. They kind of have to be out there, so people actually recognize who they are in order for people to come and see what they're doing.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's hard for someone to pay to watch somebody that they never heard of. So they do have to have some sort of following, and obviously they have to be doing courses already. They have to be doing presentations, and they have to be experts in their field, in whatever it is that they're teaching. I guess being in the field for so long, we see what's going on social media.
Yeah.
And you're just like, somebody just stands out to you and you're like, wow, this person's doing a lot of interesting things. They got a lot going on. And we just reach out to them and say, hey, listen, we have this group going, this and that. And a lot of people have already kind of, heard of Digital Craftsmen to the extent that, it's become like a pretty prestigious group to kind of be part of. So when we say it, I mean, when we're like, hey, do you want to join? And they're just like jumping off their,
Yeah,
it's
I bet.
Like what? So yeah, it's made it easy to approach people, all over the world, like Japan. Like we got Dr. Jiro Abe from Japan, and like he heard of Digital Craftsman. I talked to a lot of people all over the world, and they're all like, man, everybody's looking up at what Digital Craftsman is doing. Everybody, because I think at the end of the day, everybody looks up to the United States, and everybody's looking at what's going on in the United States somehow or some way. So maybe this is just collateral to that.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's also been because of the people that are part of the group that people look at it and they're like, wow, like look at the people that are involved. We would like to be up there with these people.
How does that feel to be so recognized in an industry that's, pretty small, to be recognized all over the world for something you guys came up with less than 2 years ago?
No, it's only a year.
A year, even.
I think we just like hit a year maybe a few weeks ago or months ago. Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, there's definitely like a higher power to it. I think things don't just happen by luck. Something else is involved. I have no idea.
Well, I could tell there's a lot of hard work going into this. I mean, it's not like you guys are just letting it happen organically.
Yeah.
No, I mean it did start organically, but yeah, it's a lot of hard work.
Also, it helps that we have been in the industry for quite some time, and I've been having a lot of presence online in social media for quite some years, and also from since I started, participating with the DTG group and Damage Goods also for years. So I got to know a lot of people and met a lot of people and make friends with them, clinicians. I also took a lot of courses and programs every year during the past 6 years, maybe 4 or 5 courses every year. I was flying all over and going to courses, every course that I wanted to take.
Yeah.
To always try to get more education. So I met a lot of people, and that was a help. Also, Jeffrey on his side, his relationships that he has with Tree Shape, and the same thing with social media, in the things that he does. So I think that came handy when this happened. I think that's one of the reasons in 1 year we were able to pretty much get this group recognized somehow and have a lot of followers, because of we already had a presence before individually. So I think putting that together, and even more after we start adding instructors, working with us from different platforms. So that, I think that also helped, because most of them are good friends of mine and Jeffrey too. So and they are great technicians. All of them are great technicians and educators. So I think it's a combination of everything. I think.
Sure.
I think it's timing, and things are.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people also like the whole idea of a group, like belonging to something.
Oh, sure.
So I think it was like a combination of everything. Definitely, we had created a presence, individually, And then, we kind of combined ourselves, and then we approached other people that also had a big presence. And, like, do you guys want to belong to this group? And people are like, yeah, it sounds fun. It sounds fun. And it is fun. We've actually, at the last LMT show, we had our booth there and everything. And we actually went and hung out together. We had dinner. We
Oh,
invited them
sure.
to things. And
Yeah.
it definitely connects people. And that was very fun. And I think that people like that. People like that, definitely. I think, and then I think there's something about the logo that people also look at and they're just like, man, that's kind of cool. Like, I want to have.
It is a great logo. Yeah, I was going to ask you about who came up with that logo. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
so I came up with the idea behind looking at some of the things in dentistry, right? And honestly, before I even started, I prayed about it because I was like, I want to do something really special. And one of the things was, the symbol of health. That's
Yep.
kind of where the whole legs thing comes into
Mm-hmm.
play, and the wings. The symbol of dentistry is the circle with the triangle, or the ring, like they call it. So yeah, just put it together. The head is a mouse. The
That
heart.
I love that part.
Yeah, like the whole thing. I just put it together, and it just came to life. And yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, Jeffrey is very creative. He came out with the logo, and a lot of the stuff that the graphics that we use, or for social media, or even designs. A lot of them come from his creation. So in that sense, he's the one actually putting a lot of the stuff that is being posted.
I think a lot of what people find appealing about the group is its focus on digital, which is such a huge part of our industry, but yet a lot of our, I won't say a lot of, but some of our industry is still anti-digital. There's a lot of technicians out there that are still waxing at a bench, not really grasping the computer. And I think this is really one of the first groups that kind of pulled that niche of technology and a technician together. Did you ever get any like anti-digital technicians kind of be against your group?
No. Actually, our group, yes, it started digital, but the name was Digital Dental Craftsmen because I was coming from the DTG group. I mean, I'm part of the DTG group, and we value a lot of the craftsmanship that is being
Yeah.
done for years. So I had that on my belt, and I being a technician that I worked with my hands for years, and I still do. So the idea was also to include the craftsmanship that we do, but with the digital technology, with the help of the digital technology, this is a tool, like anything that we use to create or to help patients developing cases.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one part of it. So digital dental craftsman is kind of the union of both. Utilizing digital technology and the craftsmanship after to make restorations for appropriate for patients. Very well planned or done. So
I think we felt like craftsmanship was something that was not only for the technicians but for the dentists too. So
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
to us, it was inclusive of everybody in dentistry. We're all craftsmen, and I think that the digital part was important because it symbolized just what it is, like the future of dentistry, and it symbolized the fact that everybody is using in some way some sort of technology.
Yeah.
Obviously, dental being kind of what puts all of us in the same category, dentists and technicians. So yeah, I mean the name was very well thought out. We were like, oh, let's change that. If we have a girl, let's put woman. But we're like, no, I mean it's still craftsmanship, like craftsman,
Yeah.
like at the end of the day. So instead of being political correct, and the funny thing is we have a lot of women in the group now,
Yes.
and they're all like, no, we get it, like screw political correctness,
Yeah.
like it's okay, like they don't mind, and they get it, because that the idea is not whether it's a man or a woman or whatever. It's craftsmanship. Like we're all craftsmen at the end of the day.
Also, we need to understand that we cannot just utilize digital technology without the basics, everything that we have learned from the past, working analog. We need to still have that to be able to apply digital technology properly and get a good outcome on fabricating, prosthesis. So for patients. So I think that's pretty much the idea behind the name and the group.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you about that. Do a lot of your programs focus on the fundamentals?
We actually do have a lot of programs we're going to be putting up that are not just digital programs. We're going to be doing programs on ceramic, on things that maybe don't even involve sometimes the digital part,
Mm-hmm.
but in combination. At the end of the day, they need to be done in combination. Like if you take a course in ceramics, it doesn't mean that you don't need to learn how to,
Frameworks, how to
yeah,
design,
how to design.
proper
You know what I'm
design.
saying? Especially nowadays, every single office that's building a lab or every single laboratory is looking for a ceramist slash CAD CAM technician. That's like the hottest thing. So, and I think the reason behind it is because they want to have someone that has the knowledge in the background of the hands-on work before the digital. I was talking to someone when we were in Chicago. It was actually one of the cab drivers that was driving me around when we were in Chicago, and the guy was talking about how he was an architect and was doing Uber, on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and talking about how architects used to like build the actual building in cardboards and all of that, and they would do the whole building by hand
Oh, yeah.
before they ended up, selling it to someone and they built the actual building. And now he's like, that's all gone. It's all gone. There's no one's doing that anymore. And they're barely even teaching it in the schools. It's all digital.
Sure.
But it's the different field, obviously. Like, obviously building a whole building is it's a lot more complex. But, when it comes to teeth, I think that you need to have that background in order for you to do it. Not that you can't do it, because I actually we have some people in the group that don't have the background,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really good at designing and they're really good at teaching. And I think what it really does is the technology is a tool, and it makes it easier to learn how to do a nice case digital by implementing the digital.
Oh,
You know what I
sure.
mean? Like I think that's really what it is. It's a tool, but then at the same time, it allows for someone to learn quicker how to do it too. Maybe when someone designs a single crown, if they were trying to do that by hand, it would probably take a lot of time before they were able to make it look just like they did on the design.
Oh,
You get what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah.
So I think it speeds up that process and it allows for teaching things a lot quicker.
Yeah, the learning curve is definitely a lot easier with
Yeah,
the
it improves the
digital.
learning curve. Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. I mean, we have technicians here at our lab I don't think they've ever hand waxed a crown. I don't think they've ever, but they've learned it all on computers and they're quite good at it.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like it helps the learning curve, and at the end of the day, can they get to the same place that a technician that knew the analog world knew? Yeah, I mean, really can, and probably faster than it took the analog technician. But there's other things involved in creating a smile that some of the old school elements really come in just really extra handy, especially in ceramics, like making something really look beautiful, line angles, things like that. Like I feel like that's some of the stuff that gets lost in digital.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The whole thing has been very well thought out. Definitely hasn't been something that was just like thrown in randomly.
Yeah, but you guys did a hell of a job to do it in a year.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It's crazy.
Thank you.
So I noticed that you got a couple denturists involved with your program.
Hmm.
It's not legal, or it's not, sorry, I've learned the wrong way. It's not regulated in New York. How did you guys get connected with the denturists?
Like I said before, a lot of them are also part of the, different groups. So,
Yeah.
from social media. So I have a very good friends, good, talented tourists, and from Canada, most of them. Other ones in Portland, Oregon, and worldwide is also a career that is present in another countries.
Sure.
In the UK, and also in Australia. I invite them to be part of it. I think they're also part of the profession. We have dental assistants also
Oh,
participating.
really? Yeah.
Following our group, we encourage also dental assistants to pretty much learn, anything they would like to learn on the digital aspect of. I think right now a lot of the dental assistants are becoming
Technician.
technicians.
Yeah.
So I think everybody who is in the dental field, or is part of this industry, they have something to share or to share to others. So I think the tourist is pretty much one of those professions that there are clinicians and there are technicians, and they're pretty much like a short version of a prosthodontist. So I would say so.
One of the things about Digital Dental Craftsman is it's an open platform for
Mhm.
everybody. It's not just dentists or technicians. We really wanted it to bring in orthodontists, surgeons, everybody. Let's just bring everybody together. At the end of the day, that's how we felt about it. I mean, look, technicians are now doing surgical guide planning. Now we're talking with dentists. We're talking with the surgeons. We're
Yeah,
doing all kinds of stuff. So
we are all part of the team. Dental.
Absolutely. All exclusive. Yeah.
and then ultimately, that's what we want to do with Digital Dental Craftsman: bring education, online education for every single one of these, disciplines. For assistants, for
Hmm.
dentists, for orthodontists, periodont, whatever, everybody. So that's our goal, is to just be inclusive of everyone.
And you offer all this for free?
Yeah, no. So right now we did a lot of free education on social media through this whole virus situation.
Hmm.
We're doing up to like five every day, 5 days a week. We were doing two presentations a day. I mean, we were at home too, so and
Yeah.
everybody was at home, so everybody was like, "Yeah, let's do it, let's
I
do
get
it."
it. Yeah.
And people were very open to share their knowledge and this and that. So now, now that's a little bit post COVID. We're definitely not going to do it like that. Everybody goes back to work. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, you got jobs.
are we going to do it? Is there going to be a lot of free education? Absolutely, yes. We're going to have a lot of free
That's
education.
why we open our study group. We create our
Yeah. So
study
then,
group.
yeah, we decided to create these presentations under a branch of a study group, right? And
Okay.
then we created, what we call Digital
Online.
Dental Craftsman Study Group online. And then, it went from there to now us bringing something new, that is something I had mentioned to you that we're introducing, which is online education, not only through our website, but through like an actual virtual reality, right? Like presenting to people courses and events through an environment that's online, that you feel like you're there. You can talk to people, you can chat, you can, meet, you can share business cards. You know what I'm saying? Like just like a whole online community for dentistry. And that's where we're kind of leading it to now, where people can still watch a
Hmm.
lot of the events that are happening for free, but we won't have them on Facebook the way we've been doing them. We're going to be holding the events within our new platform that we're going to be launching soon.
So this is an idea where a viewer can log in, watch the presentation, but still interact with the other people that are there for the presentation?
Yes, it's a virtual reality platform, similar like everybody will have like an avatar, so they can get into this virtual convention center where it's a auditorium, pretty much like any convention center would be also sponsors, or will have a booth,
Oh, really?
and they can actually interact with the sponsors or interact with the participants, then attend the presentation. So
Yeah, so the environment is going to be very interactive. There's going to be a lot of things, like we have a rooftop. People can go hang out at the rooftop, and you can group chat, meaning like other people standing around. You can talk to each other. You can text chat within the platform. You can look at presentations together. You can join like a room where everybody gets to be on the screen. So you just walk in there and you can connect to a screen that everybody's kind of doing like a Zoom meeting where everybody's on.
Yeah.
So making it a little more interactive and fun. And then yeah, there's like Sandra just said, there's floors for that we call pavilions, that basically have exhibitors and big, like everything is in a 3D like world. You walk around.
Like a video game. Like you can walk
Yeah,
around.
so it's called like gamification. Yeah, so it's like a video game, but it's a very realistic looking video game.
Yeah.
It's very professional looking. We couldn't bring to dentistry something that looked like you're playing, Minecraft or
No,
something
yeah,
like.
sure, sure.
But no, it's very real. You actually have your character. You can go to your dressing room and change your character's appearance to whatever you want. You have T-shirts. You have, dentist clothing. You have scrubs. You have whatever. It's you create your character. You upload your information. You have your picture on your character and the whole business card, everything about you. And then you can actually go to booths and then purchase products or talk to the reps, or it's very interactive on top of the whole thing with the auditorium, which is its own space. And then there, all of these study group events that we're talking about will be hosted there, as well as other more private events that, we have, like, let's say the NGS meeting might be happening there. Other groups, we've been talking to Spectrum to host their events on inside.
Oh, yeah.
And others. And basically, the platform is going to be on 24/7, 365.
Really? Wow.
So you can log in at any time of the day, and there's always something going to be going on. So we want to make it very interactive, and we can grow the environment as much as we want. Just it's all virtual, so we can keep growing as more people are coming. Maybe add more things like more auditoriums, more whatever.
Yeah.
So we're almost done with it. Hopefully, within a week or two, it's going to be ready, and then we'll start talking to some of the companies that we're calling partners to basically let them set up a booth for free. The first month they get to be there for free, and then they get to see. A lot of times when you go to these shows like the LMT show, you can't really quantify how well you did. You don't know how many brochures went out, or how many people you talked to, or how many,
Yeah.
This stuff gives analytics for the exhibitors, so they get to see everything. Everything is from downloads of brochures to how many people walked by them, how many people interacted with their virtual attendant, everything. So it's a very interactive platform. And like I said, there will be a lot of different types of events that are going to be happening, but it's all based off of education.
Yeah.
And worldwide. I mean, we have people all over the world. So some events are in Portuguese, some events are in Spanish, some events are in English, some are going to be Russian, whatever.
That is super cool. I've never even heard of this. This is like a pandemic-free dental convention. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said to you about it, like the situation brings innovation. That was one of the things we were like, how do we do this? How do we bring people together? Nobody's going to want to come now, and this and that, many, many reasons. But then I think that ultimately we're not trying to do away with in-person events.
You never will.
They're the best,
Yeah.
But I think that, people could meet through a online platform more often, and then have like one-offs, or, maybe two events a year that we get everybody to come together, and then it'll be fun. I mean, they get to see the instructors in person. They get to talk to whoever. They get to, see events and presentations, and, there might be some hands-on courses. I mean, eventually that's where we would love to take.
Sure. That is so exciting. I'm intrigued by this avatar. Can I give myself hair again? Is that like a thing? Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah. You'll be able to do whatever you want, man. You can have long hair.
Yes, I miss those days. That's great. So that's all coming out here in the month of July. You're hoping to get it out?
I would say August.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's great. I'm excited.
Yeah, August we'll launch that, and and companies, like I said, can have their booths, and they can, and even this podcast, maybe we could talk about something interesting that could happen with this podcast. We could implement it into the digital reality.
Interesting, where people could stop by our virtual booth, and then we could record. And I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. Is it free for attendees?
Yeah. No, the platform, we're making it open. So you just come into a website and you log in. It's open for anybody to attend. Obviously, the only times that things will get locked up is if there's a private event happening.
Sure.
That is like you got to pay for, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if it's like, let's say, like a study group that has their members coming to watch, it doesn't mean that nobody else can come and watch. I mean, if they pay the membership to that study group, they can come and participate in whoever they have presenting, and be part of it too. So it'll be open most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Only
the auditorium I get closed off to private events that you probably would have to get like a specific password to attend to it. But I mean, it's an open platform for anybody to come and interact. And we are planning on creating like a job board, and allow people to, send their resume to get
Oh,
jobs,
wow.
things like
Yeah.
that. And it's grown like that. Like I said before, it's a very dynamic thing. And then, we're obviously, eventually hoping to get into maybe like some digital magazine or something like that.
Hmm.
But, we'll see. It's all stages, and little by little, you kind of bring things out. But overall, we just want to bring something to the industry that's fun and interactive, and people connect, so that when the people do get to see each other, it's kind of like when you meet people on Facebook, you're like, hey, it's like you feel like you've known each other
Yep.
forever. He's like, hey, what's going on?
You look nothing like
You
your
know,
avatar. No.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's going to be very fun. And then the other part of it is the website itself is going to be a C credit provider for a lot of dentists and technicians. So there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of courses that people could take, and they get C certifications, and everybody's considered a student. So it tracks your record, what courses you've taken, you completed, where you're in the middle of, everything. You can bundle courses, just it's going to be a very big educational platform. There's going to be a whole community just on the website, meaning like a forum style.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be the virtual reality is open. The website itself is going to have a basic subscription, which is free. That alone gives you access to the virtual reality,
Hmm.
and then a whole bunch of free education. And then we are going to have a pro version, which is a subscription that you pay for,
Sure.
that will give people access to private events, and it gives discounts on C credits and things like on courses, and just something to that we can try to give back. So that's kind of how the website itself is going to flow.
So all this is in work with the NBC to make sure the CE credits are good for the CDTs.
Yeah, we are NBC. We're C credit providers, so we
Nice.
give C credits with everything.
So, sir, we're
And
working on the sir.
yeah, we're also working on the SERP one for the dentist as well. Even though, the NBC one, the NBC credits are good for dentists too, but
Yeah.
we want to just have everything. So it's a lot of work in under a year, for sure. I have no idea how we've gotten all this done. We're working on it.
And we have I don't know if you know, but we have also a partner on all these that is behind the scenes and actually helping us, because we couldn't done it with John. John Han is our partner in this project. He's not a dental, but he helped a lot on all the development and following up and having all these organized and be able to communicate with everybody. I have my own lab. I have my laboratory. Jeffrey has his laboratory. So we're still working, as any other technician, and on top of this, developing all these projects. So yeah, that's a big part of it that in this short time we could have done.
Yeah, John is in the background. He's actually here. He sits there, but he's working very hard to kind of bring to life anything that we discuss. He had a great job and just left it to come, all in on this. So, having someone dedicated to, being able to help us bring all of these things to life has been huge advantage for Digital Dental Craftsman. And most of the instructors know who he is because he's obviously there in every single event that we put up. He's there. He's managing the streaming, and he's managing everything, just keeping us on our toes. Make sure you talk to this guy, talk to that guy, whatever, everything. So he's definitely like the one making all the parts move in the background. We just wanted to give him a shout out because he's working hard, man. He's back there. And he likes that though. Like he's like that. He's strange. He doesn't want the spotlight or anything. He's just like I just do my thing over here. You guys do the talking.
You can be famous.
And he's got nothing to do with dental outside of the Craftsman.
I mean, he knows a lot now.
I bet. I bet he's learned a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, from all of these courses that he's been watching and everything.
After ADM plus study group events that we have done during the pandemic, he was there present and on the transmission and the streaming. So
yeah,
he's
learned a lot. But it's good to have someone involved outside too, to get that other perspective that you might see if you weren't in dentistry or in a lab.
Oh yeah, no, he absolutely brings that, and he's just good with the money too, man. The guy's figuring out everything, and he's like, listen, we could do this, we can't do that, we can afford it. Well, let's talk to this, let's do that.
Yeah, he controls us. You know how we are passionate about something or getting into something as technician, we believe in something sometimes, and we just want to go ahead. So, but he keep us
On our toes. I mean, we're
Yeah.
both business owners, so I think that me and Sandra obviously also have a lot of knowledge when it comes to like
Business.
business.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
He worked in a more corporate setting. That's where he comes from. So that is a huge
Oh,
asset.
yeah. Especially since you guys are lab owners. Not only are you working, probably 60 hours a week at the bench.
Oh,
Yeah. But having that perspective from corporate that you don't have when you own your own lab.
yeah, no, I think it's a huge asset because we don't have that corporate aspect.
No.
We manage. I mean, Sandra has a lot of people more than me. I only have three, but Sandra has like
7, 8.
seven, eight
Yeah.
people in the lab. So yeah, I mean, it's a total different view of things. He has experience working for those corporations, so trying to figure out a way for us to set this thing up in a way where, because we're dealing with people all over the world, it definitely is a huge asset. Yeah.
Yeah. What if a technician wanted to get involved with your group? What do you recommend them to start? I mean, obviously the website, digitaldentalcraftsman.com. What's a good advice you can give them to kind of get integrated into your program?
I mean, so I think, like I said, I think the group has a very specific thing to it, right?
Uh-huh.
You have to be an educator. You have to, have a following. You have to be there for a while before you can actually become an instructor for digital dental craftsmen. So you have to understand, like for us, it's also important to keep that as a very prestigious thing, as a
Sure.
very not, let's say, not to say easy, not to say difficult thing, because we don't want to just make it like lose the value of what it is. We don't want it to just get washed by just adding everybody and their mother. So that's something that we're really careful with, to
Mm-hmm.
not just add in, thousands of people just nilly willy. But as far as the technicians, what Digital Dental Craftsman provides is, growth, self improvement, education, obviously. I think at the end of the day, the more you know, the more valuable you are. So it improves, your bottom line as far as your career, the money you're bringing home, the more you learn, So as far as wanting to become digital dental craftsmen, I would say they need to start getting into, becoming, teaching, getting a following out there. It's trying to come up with courses. You have to do that. Otherwise, how can we put up a course that you're going to do? Who's going to come and watch you? Nobody knows who you are, you know, and I don't mean to be blunt about it. It's just reality. Like, obviously it's not easy. Like myself, it took me a long time to
Prove
develop
yourself.
courses and this and that, and for people to come, it takes time. It
Sure.
takes time. So everybody really has to go through something like
Yeah, you
that.
have to prove yourself that in a way show what you really have learned or know. I mean, when I started with the DTG with damaged goods before I became a DTG member, it took me 3 years to become a DTG member, and I was constantly participating in the damaged goods groups, and in a way that helped me to grow a lot. Like I was watching all these technicians with their work that they were doing, and I said to myself, I have to change the way I'm doing things and improve, and that's why I was taking courses, and also eventually it helped me grow and as a technician. So I think it's kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
Any group in social media, is developed to share and learn and to help others grow. So I think the group itself, not the instructor group, but the group that we have right now, the 6,000 followers. I mean, anyone can join and follow and participate and
Right.
interact with everybody and ask questions and share. And also we share a lot of information. The instructors share a lot of information. So we are all open to respond to anything that other people are they need help with, in order for them to grow and help them, and then when courses are launch or study group meetings, it's more opportunity for everyone to keep learning. So from there, eventually someone will keep going, and if they really have their mindset to really then later go to the other stage of teach, so they can do that, they can develop programs or courses, and from there they can start maybe becoming an instructor for DDC too.
I mean, look, one of the things that we're going to be doing as well is on this platform that we're building, we're going to be able to put up courses
Hmm.
from different instructors. So right now we have it in a way where it's for the DDC instructors only. But we are thinking and considering, giving others the opportunity to get out there, right? And they can create courses, present them to us, and we can put them on our platform, and then they can try to sell. They make money, it brings in reoccurring income, and then we also get analytics from that. So if we see that the person is actually being very looked at, a lot of people are taking this person's course, then that raises our eyebrows to say, hey, listen,
Yeah.
to become a digital craftsman, like, look, your courses are actually doing really well. I think that that's definitely a way for people to become part of digital craftsmen, because look, at the end of the day, you have to remember that there's a lot of different disciplines. There's a lot of people. It's not just technicians, it's dentists, as everybody. So they have to have something to teach. And that's,
Absolutely.
because look, at the end of the day, a lot of people do beautiful work. There's a lot of beautiful dentistry and a lot of beautiful crowns and great ceramists, but not everybody can teach.
No.
So you have to have that skill, and not everybody wants to get into teaching. So that cuts off and makes it even more prestigious, because I think that when you think about anybody that teaches you anything, you always respect that person. You're always like,
Mhm.
you know what, like, this guy taught me something. You could have a dentist or anybody with a really big ego, and you teach them something, they'll like you, they'll respect you. There's a huge rep and respect that comes from teaching. And I think that's why how we feel that digital dental craftsmen might be there for a while, because I think that people will look up to some of these guys that are teaching them, because look, at the end of the day, not everybody was to sit there teaching people.
No. And I think it's great that you guys are so, I don't want to use the word picky, but picky on your instructors. Because we've all sat through a bunch of programs where someone's on stage talking, and it's really just a way for them to show pretty pictures of what they've done, and you don't learn anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that the person has that skill to be able to educate the audience.
Yes, I absolutely agree. That's another thing. Like, there's plenty of dentists that present. There's a lot of presentations, but like, who do people really want to go to watch at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of what we're looking for. Like, do people want to come and watch you? And then we'll give you the stage, we'll give you the presence, we'll put you on that position where people want to come and see you and this and that, and they can come even easier now with this whole virtual reality. It's like you have a whole auditorium, virtually, but
Yeah.
you'll have a whole thing, and it's worldwide, because that's our members now are still worldwide. I mean, we are thinking about ideas of ways to being more inclusive of everybody else in a way. So we're trying to come up with something, but right now it's still very much focused on the instructors.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think your virtual is going to go huge, especially if LMT don't happen next year.
Yeah, no, it's the things. It's all about timing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even those shows, we'd be happy to talk to them too. I mean, there's plenty of things we can do. We sell this system that we're building,
We're distributors in
where we can distribute it, and now that we built it ourselves, we actually can sell it to dentistry. But it's like, do you want to build it yourself and have it there for one or two uses, or do you want to just rent the space within what we're calling DDC world,
Yeah.
and then use it the times that you need it? And not only do you get to use it, you get to have the presence of all of these people seeing what's going on, all of these members that may keep coming from all over the world. I have already, like, when we already kind of have the platform up. It's just that we're not showing it yet.
Yeah.
But when you walk in, like, the first thing you see is flags. Like, we have all these different flags from like different countries. Obviously, we couldn't put all the countries in the world, but we picked like 10.
Yeah.
And we have all these different flags. It's really to symbolize that it's international, anybody, everybody. And then hopefully we're able to make events that happen where people come from all over the world and want to be there to go and get to meet in person.
Yeah. That is so cool. I think you guys are doing a great job. And as long as you never forget the core of educating, it's going to continue with the success, I think.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. I hope so.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I bet. I don't think you guys sleep much. I don't know how you find the time to do all this.
Yeah, no, it's you multitask and juggle things. You have to make decisions. We'll see. I'm already thinking about selling my lab and just dedicating myself to this. I haven't made the decision yet, but sometimes you might have to do things like that.
Wow, that's a big step.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Once the thing takes off, if it needs that much attention, then I have to provide the attention.
Yeah. No, I think it's awesome. We've easily hit an hour, guys. That was amazing. I think what you guys are doing is wonderful. Anything you want to reach out to our listener base about digital dental craftsmen that we might not have touched on?
I think we've pretty much touched on everything that we're going to be offering. Obviously, keep a lookout for what we're doing. Follow the group on Facebook. A lot of things will be put on there. And then we definitely want them to know that, they can always come, to digitaldentalcraftsman.com to just pick up and learn and add more things to their belt so that, they can bring home more, they can provide for their families. And at the end of the day, knowledge is not only is knowledge power, but we all know that, the more you know, the more money you can make. So
yeah,
that's how we feel about it. Just keep learning, keep growing, and we'll be there to support it. We'll be there to bring the education, and we'll be there to hopefully see everybody and the whole industry grow. That's kind of our overall scope of everything is we want to bring dentistry just to higher levels.
And I love the fact it doesn't matter if you're doing fixed, removable, on exocad, on 3Shape, if you're a dentist or a dental assistant. It seems like there's something there for everybody, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elliot.
I encourage fixed people to learn about removable, and this is a great opportunity for them to do that. I think it's great what you guys are doing, and I'm excited for this virtual thing. As soon as I can sign up, I'm going to create myself the greatest avatar with a full set of hair and ripping muscles, and I'm going to walk around that thing, and I'm just going to learn as much as I can. I love it.
Yes, thank you, Elvis.
You could have your booth there, Elvis. You could have
I'd love to do that. I would absolutely love to look at doing that. I think it's great. I wish I thought of it. I think it's cool.
It's not easy to put together.
No, I don't have that kind of time.
We're very passionate about dentistry, and we just like to be innovative with everything we do. So, we hope that people are, appreciate it. They know that we have really honestly the best intentions at heart. There's no bad intention or anything to what we're doing. And ultimately, we hope to not only connect the people here in the United States, but everywhere, from all around the world. And I think it's going to be a huge community. Hopefully it's going to be a huge community.
Yeah. And we're fans of anything that strengthens our industry. We're for it. And I think this is going to help.
Thank you, Elvis. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Elvis.
Hey, guys. Sander, Jeffries, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
I see what you guys are doing. It's great stuff. And I'm thankful for what you guys are doing. And I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And I'm excited for it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody that's tuning in. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We will talk to you soon.
Take care, Elvis.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
So thanks again to Jeffrey and Sander for joining us on the podcast. We love what they're doing and the group that they have grown. Any way we can get good quality education to our industry, Elvis and I support. So now the amazing online conference center that they are building is getting ready to launch. This exciting platform that they call DDC World will allow technicians all over the world to connect, learn, to share, to shop, all from the comfort of their home or their lab, 24/7.
24/7.
From their own lab, 24/7, meaning all day, all night, guys. So they have a launch date of August 21st. So stay tuned to digitaldentalcraftsman.com or check them out on their Facebook page for the link when it becomes available.
I am super excited for this DDC world.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I do plan on signing up, chatting with some of the other attendees, hey, knows, maybe find a few guests for the podcast.
Bingo.
And take in some speakers. plus their whole create an avatar.
Yep.
If you want to find me on this platform, it's going to look just like me.
God.
Yeah, it's going to look just like me. It'll be like 6'3", long flowing hair, 250 pounds, solid muscle. That's going to be me walking around, but it'll look just like me, so I'll be easy to find.
Wow. I was thinking it was going to be Elvis Presley.
Well, there's that too. I don't know how detailed. Could we get the chops and everything? That might be
I'm
interesting.
sure you could.
Barb, you could finally make yourself over 5 feet tall.
Ha ha ha.
ha.
I'll be the butt of your joke. That's okay.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah. So I hope you have a super week.
We'll talk to you next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
I quit.